guys, this is the Grim Reminder 09 giving you another team building episode. I haven't done a team building episode quite in a while, probably maybe like last month, but I'll probably do more of those as well with Showdown Live. So today we're not going to be talking about the Philadelphia Fur Alligators, the team I recently just used, because we're still going to be using it. So by the time I'm done, I'm going to be talking about a couple of my teams in the UU that's pretty fun that I like to run, and most of the time I do run most of the time. And yeah, let's begin. So right off the back, we got the secondary squad. You guys saw it a couple of videos ago, like with the Pangoro and the fun day with the Pangoro episode. Make sure you guys check that out. And we have Skrokun, Bandit Entei, Black Sludge, more of a decent support, Crobat, the defensive Carmine Loigus, standard defensive Fortress, and Gunshot Pangoro. Now we're going to discuss every last one and why I picked these kind of sets. And if you guys have any suggestions of set I should try and what would be better, leave that in the comments below. I'm open to the suggestions. Anyways, let's begin. So we're running the Pangoro with the Life Orb Iron Fist, and we are rocking the 8 in HP, which is going to give me a much decent amount of bulk of HP, giving me 33. This is level 100, so it's not level 50. Max speed, Jolly Nature with max attack, with 248 max attack, just to utilize all my possible EVs. 346 and 246. So basically, this is a pretty good fun set to run because this will outspeed a lot of the good walls and checks such as Forgus. Because most of the time, people will run like a bulkier build on Pangoro, since Pangoro isn't really that high in speed; it's mostly high in HP. But I don't like that bulk variant because Fairy type is pretty common with the use of Sylveon and the use of Forgus. Pretty common in the meta, and Gardevoir, it really completely destroys Pangoro. Pangoro is BL2 for a reason, so this is the set that helps me use. This is my opinion that sets I'm more comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with max speed because I'm the only reason why I use this Pangoro for fun, and this is I use it on my team build, is just for wall breaking. Like, it's not built for late game sweep. It doesn't last that long because, again, any standard sweeper will outspeed an Oko. It doesn't have... Its typing is Darken Fighting, which is very good offensive, but bulk-wise, I don't like it bulk-wise. Its bulk is very poor. It gets punished by bug types. It gets punished by flying types, significantly flying types. Keep that in mind. Fairy types completely destroys it. It's a pretty... Even other fighting types can beat it. It's not a good defensive type. It should be more used offensive. Bulky Sweeper may be better, which I haven't tried a bulky variant yet, so I'll try that first. But I'm running the Jolly. With Iron Fist, I prefer Iron Fist over Mold Breaker because it boosts it all. It makes me allowed to use his Drain Punch. It means I get health back for the Life Orb, so I don't die very often. And I have the Ice Punch, which Ice is pretty good because it hits Mega Aerodactyl pretty hard. It hits other grass type pretty hard. I have Gunshot specifically for Fairy usage. It's great against Forgus because most of the time Forgus do not run speed investment, despite how fast Forgus is. Like Forgus's base speed is base 75, which does naturally outspeed Pangoro by a bunch of 20 extra points basically. And this allows me to outspeed them. No one's really gonna run a sweeper variant of Forgus. The best sets are only the Wish Patch and the defensive Carmine set. That's probably the most set. I'm not too high on the UU ladder to see more of the sets. I'm mostly getting into the 15 range, which shows that I still have a lot to learn. But these are the most of the set I do run into in Forgus. And the use of Pangoro is pretty much if you have to build a team around it in order to use Pangoro effectively. You can't just slap it on any team and say, bam, I can use it. You gotta put a specific team build with them and play around with them for a while. So this is the set that works for me. Other abilities he does get is Scrappy, which honestly you don't need Scrappy because he has the Dark typing in him, so most of the time Ghost type won't really appreciate going against him. You most likely hold them with his Dark typing. Oh, just because you have normal fighting type, you really don't need the fighting type against Ghost because you already have Stab Dark. So this is probably the most useless ability in my opinion, and a lot of people agreed. Mold Breaker should be your secondary option if you hate like sturdy mons or mons that have like abilities that can be pretty annoying. But that's the only reason why you should. But Iron Fist should be the way to go because it literally boosts. He has access to all the elemental moves. Ice Punch should be the most move you should be using. Drain Punch can be used. This is the set that works for me. So as for Fortress, I do run the standard Fortress. I should make this male. I like it male better. Anyways, enough about that. Anyways, we got Toss Spikes, Rapid Spin, Gyro Ball, and Stealth Rock. So pretty much this is a standard set. Hold on, this is not the correct. Actually, I'll just leave this way. It doesn't matter. Most of the time, I would keep it as like I won't have attack investment because I don't really play offensive. I just treat Fortress as a wall. Like this is my hard physical wall. Set up a Stealth Rock and spin. And I can easily cover its weaknesses because the Crocoon and Entei as well fires the big weakness ground. Like the only counters I really do run problem with this Fortress is, of course, if you see, it's Crocodiles with Taunt, Crocodiles with Bandit, or Crocodiles with Knockoff. It really like breaks my Fortress. And Fortress isn't really a hard Pokemon to use. It's pretty easy to use in UU. A lot of people like to use Volt Switch, which keeps momentum. I like Toxic Spice because I want to break stall. UU is known for stall, and Toxic Spice works well on my team because this will cripple their walls, making it easy for nothing. This makes it easy for Pangol and Entei to be used. Now, people may say they like Volt Switch because of momentum build. That is another great option. That if you want to use Fortress, this is kind of an idea set you could run. Gyro Ball is 100% the best possible big offensive because it punishes fairy types like Sylveon, it punishes Gardevoir, but it's not really the best matchup because it has base CC special defense, and most of the time it can just take it down to sturdy range. Fortress doesn't really have a solid recovery, it just has great bulk. It has base 140 bulk. It's something that you should not pass. It's one of the many best spinners you can use in UU, but it's very predictable. Like Fortress isn't really hard. Like any player can pick up Fortress, and any player can take advantage of Fortress. Costaberry has been seen lately with Explosion, which is a decently good option if you don't like this option. So I'm just giving out options, but this is the option that works with my Fortress play. This is what pretty much all my Fortress play is gonna have. It's not really gonna have the attack investment. I'm probably gonna have Impish, but Relax is better just to boost the Gyro Ball, and I'm always gonna have 8 in my special defense, which I should do that now because I really don't want attack investment. Like I don't want my Fortress to be offensive. I want it to be defensive. I don't know why. I don't like falling under the exact one. It's like use all my maximum investments so I can take at least some special bulk at least. So this is really my main set I like on Fortress. This is the set that works for me. It's a pretty good solid defense wall. Now here comes the main star of the show, one of my favorite sets, which is pretty common, but it's also my favorite Florges set. This makes me the reason why I love Florges in UU. Florges is really predictable, and I don't see a lot of use of Florges a lot, but in lower tier, it's very good. It's one of those mons that you have to have some kind of knowledge and use it correctly. This is the best set because, as you can see, it's base 68. Base 78 isn't really the greatest HP, but that special defense bulk is something that you should not pass. It's a good, decent special defensive wall with the base 112 attack. So it has a pretty good average, a good amount of stats, and does have defense. But if you put this is like kind of like to me like treating it as a Blissey. Like I don't really need to invest in special defense. If I focus more all in defense, then I can take some actual physical hits. And with max HP, this allows me to get even more than the maximum amount of my HP. Level 100 is 360, which is pretty decent. Base 78 is not amazing, but it's pretty decent in walls. Special defense, you really don't need to invest in special defense because if you do put a max HP and max special defense, it's going to wall every single special hit with absolutely zero problems. But this set allows Florges to actually take on more roles. It allows to take on any physical hitters. It also works. It's not only my special defensive wall, but it's also a good clinic because of one with therapy. So I can heal the entire squad. So if I get burned, I can easily heal them and heal my Crocoon if he does rest and I can't set up on him. Most of the time I do fall into problem. I have to get a certain amount of Calm Minds in order for my Florges to actually work. If I don't get a specific amount of Calm Minds, my Florges will actually tear apart, gets torn up by Nidoqueens. I struggled against a lot of Specs or Life Orb Nidoking. Pretty much the big downfall is pretty much any bandit set will easily destroy it because again it's base 58, so this investment doesn't take every day, it just takes non-bandit hits. It's a good way to 1v1 Mienshao because if I'm not a defensive variant, Mienshao with Lidioko, if you saw in that video that I talk about in the comment section, the guy, even if he did got the Stone Edge hit, it wouldn't kill because the build I run is will take very little damage from Stone Edge. I would take like 30% when I was at 48. So if I were to switch, I would have guaranteed lost the game. But this is the set that always Trump caught me at the lane. And if I do sweep with this, it's mostly a late game sweep. I don't try to early game sweep unless I know I can do a good amount of damage on his team. So if I get the +6, if you get the +6, this thing would destroy everything. It's literally that 112 special attack is something that you should not sleep on. Florges hits hard for a decent wall. So it's more of like a kind of like an offensive wall that can, but it's not the greatest wall. There's better special defensive walls out there like Blissey and Celebi. It's just like another good option if you don't like those mods. It's pretty decent. It's very easy to learn from it. It takes a while for you to get used to the defensive calm mindset, in my opinion, because you can't just set up all the time. You get punished pretty hard by steel types like Metagross. You can't set up when there's like any steel types on the field because it will force you to switch out and they can do whatever they want in that turn. Now here's a little bit interesting. My Crobat is running the small gun. It's a small gun set, support set. We got 2-8 in HP, 48 in defense, and 2 obviously max speed with Jolly Nature. And the reason why I like this set with Infiltrator is because Crobat can not only go through stub, but it can also hit past stubs. I can poison stub users. This makes a very good way to deal with very good sub mons or sub pass mons. Taunt is good because Taunt shuts down stall. I like Taunt on Crobat because it really just stops stall mons. And it goes well with Fortress because I can prevent them from healing aromatherapy, making them take more toxic damage. It doesn't always work all the time because most of the time I don't see clinics a lot in the lower ladder, but in the upper ladder I do see them. Crobat really does cause some annoyance. It does have enough attack to still kill like mons like Conkeldurr at a certain amount of percentage. Bulky Conkeldurrs can live a hit if it's not invested in attack, but most of the time I get the Conkeldurr low enough to the point where one Brave Bird should finish it off. Roost is good. It keeps Crobat long lived. As you can saw, it actually took on like Swampers, taunt poison past Swampers, making Swampers die a lot quicker. Blissey doesn't really want to go against this thing because of taunt. Brave Bird does a good amount of damage, but it does take recoil. Black Sludge makes it live a little bit longer, and Roost just obviously. It's pretty much a standard support set. There is a lot of better set you can run. Defog can also be replaced with Toxic or Taunt because it can actually be a great defogger, but we already have the Rapid Spinner, so you pretty much don't really need it. And you never want to run 2 defoggers. It's like it seems good, but it's kind of a waste because it kind of wastes a move slot for them. Because if you already have 1 and it lives longer, then what's the point of having 2? I mean, it's good for backup, just in case if you lose one of your defoggers, you have another backup as a backup plan, but it's not the best option. Anyways, the Crocoon, I don't think this is the actual Crocoon set, but this is my kind of my weird set that actually puts in work sometimes. We got 248 HP, 148 defense, and 112 in special defense. Pretty much just try to even the defensive out because the whole point is to take hits. I don't like just putting max on it because I want to utilize all his defense. With max HP involved, I can play around the defense. I'm still playing around his defenses every single time I make my own custom Crocoon set just to see what is the best suited for me. I'm pretty sure if you guys have any better suggestion of what kind of defense investment I want to put on this Crocoon, leave that in the comment section below. I don't really run standard. I don't like this this set, the small gun set, because I don't like mass because I want to put more bulk into it. This makes sure that Crocoon can take a lot of good hits. I'm pretty sure I need a little bit more defensive, but it's just one of those mons where I don't really try to play it a lot. I just play it because it's like I just want to have something fun, something unique, something I haven't used in a while. And it actually puts in work. Crocoon is good. The only thing that I would have to say if you're going to use Crocoon sets is never use this on Celebes. Like, that's the one natural thing you should never do. Never use this on Celebes because Celebes can easily wall the set. And if you don't have Roar, if you do not have like, if you have Ice Beam, then you get you have to like waste the moves. Like, it's literally that simple. It's like it limits your moveset depending on what moves. Roar is good, but it makes you not be able to do like any significant damage. With Calm Mindset, this makes me hit everything. It's just grass type that walls Crocoon. So it's pretty common because I do struggle against Celebi, and I'm pretty sure there's one more I'm missing, which I don't know. But pretty much anything else, nothing really appreciates Scald. I don't see a lot of Shamans because of Celebi been added into tier. Just basically, long enough to keep it on a grass type. Electric types is not really a big problem because once I get a certain amount of Calm Mind, I can actually damage them and burn them. So it's pretty standard Koroku stuff. And finally we got my favorite mon, which I always going to run this kind of nature because it's for good reason. Now we have Entei with max attack, 4 in defense. This is probably a different kind of set. This is obviously standard set, as you can tell. And we're running Adamant Natured instead of Jolly, because why? Because the whole point of this Entei is to come in and hit very hard. I want Entei to hit the most hardest it can. I don't care about speed, because most of the time with Pokemon with base 100 speed are going to speed type at a lot of mons, and not all the time they're going to run max speed. But with me running max speed, I'm already going to, I just want Adamant Nature, just a hard hitting nature. Sacred of Fire literally just 2-hit KOs and really cripples wall breaks a lot of teams. Jolly is good, but it only increases speed. But with Adamant Nature, with Bandit Adamant Nature, it literally tails whole. It's like running Adamant Bandit T-Tar in my opinion, but except it's more, I feel like Darmanitan and Funny are another great options for it. The moveset I run is Bulldozer, Stone Edge. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna replace one of my Flare Blitz. I'm always changing and always open for suggestions. Iron Head, of course, is to deal with fairy types. Fairy types can be a problem, but most of the time I don't really deal, and also rock types. But I mostly rely on Stone Edge. Iron Head is just more of a safer way to make sure that they don't want to switch it. But Stone Edge, I mostly use Stone Edge because Ronom Heat is pretty common in the meta. So basically, Abandoned Entei will easy not only outspeed but Oko unless they're Scarf. Bulldoze is good, but it's not the killing power. Like I'm pretty sure this is the move I'm gonna replace because I don't like Bulldoze. Like it's a good. I wish Entei would have got Earthquake. If it would have got Earthquake, this thing would have been a lot better. But Bulldoze is just, it does lower the speed, but it most of the time doesn't have the killing power. Like base 50 is not bad, but it's not good. Like this would be good for the Technician mon, but it doesn't really help my situation because it doesn't do enough. Earthquake does more, and I wish it would have learned it. So that's pretty much the main point of my team. This is the secondary squad. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to drag the video that long. This is my thinking process. I said I was going to do one-on-one, but the video, I don't want to make a super long video. Well, screw it. Let's make another team build discussion. Let's talk about one of my OU teams I recently used. And this is the Ferroform Back Squad, as you guys saw 2 episodes ago. And this is one of my newer OU teams I built. And some of the mons are based on old mons I used back in earlier S1. This is one of my older mons, why I said Ferroform, but I did some improvements and now I'm running T-Wave. So I'm running the classic physical defensive set of 248 HP, 252 in defense, and 8 in special defense. Why I'm running a more physical set, this allows me to check Garchomp sometimes. It doesn't do well. It could come in on Keldeo, but it's only a one-time thing. I don't really want to do it. I could come on Storming on this thing. I really don't care if I get burned because you're going to see maybe why. I may run some different options to help improve, maybe like a Clinic, just in case if I get burned. Because that's the downfall with this team. I don't have a solid Clinic. I do have a Defogger, but I don't have a Clinic. But the whole point of this team is pretty good because I can actually support them very well. Ferroform does the job very well. It has Lindsay, Stealth Box, and Power Whip. I used to run Iron Head just to deal with Fairy types, but the less seen of Fairy types, the more common one is Clefable, but Clefable can easily Fire Blast and switch, and Ferroform isn't really that fast. Pace 20 speed is pretty bad, so Ferroform won't be outspeeding a lot of things. So it's best not just to run T-Wave so I can slow them down and make use of Ferroform, because there's no point of switching to Clefable when they can Calm Mind and Flamethrower and Fire Blast me the next turn, which completely made me sack my mon for no reason. Now, this means that I am weak to HP Fire. This is a very good setup fodder for Scissor. Scissor can set up on this thing, which I don't like. I used to try to start Scissor, but it's the worst possible idea because Scissor literally doesn't take nothing. Doesn't have to worry about Ferroform at all. All they need to do to get the +6 and Bullet Punch and Bug Bite, which will completely destroy this set. So basically, pretty much any standard fire. I don't really like going against Garchomp for this thing because Garchomp literally does. And if I'm going to make a sack off, I'm going to make sure I do as much recoil damage as possible. Talonflame does have to feel it because I can potentially let Talonflame kill itself, which means I'll make a great trade. Because Talonflame is pretty strong still, depending on how you play around with it. But yeah, this is my defensive Ferroform set. Next up is a Mulla, and this is actually another set on the Silent Smogon. It's not max, I don't like running max on it, but this makes me utilize. 120 HP. 136 defense and max special defense. Why max special defense? Because this fixes the special defense problem. Why? Because its HP is phenomenal. This is one of the many Pokemon in lower tiers I like to pick up and run. Alola is fun in RU and it's great in OU. It's a lot of good item options to run, like Rocky Helmet to actually walk. This set specifically allows me to take any other physical hits and also take on really good special attackers that are not electric or grass types. This makes Alola a force to be reckoned. This does not make it just a defensive or purely special defensive, but this makes Alola a very strong mon to go up against. Now, I really don't need to put max HP because look at that HP. The whole point of Alola team is, as you can see, is to drop the biggest fat wish. This will heal Keldeo, this will heal Hawlucha, this will heal Ferrothorn and Ferrothorn's cripple, and my Tornadus. But this is a perfect good card to use with Tornadus because Tornadus can U-turn. I don't have to risk, I don't have to worry about getting credit, because if I do get credited and if I do live on like 30%, I could just switch out, get 30% more of my health back, and come back in even more. Go for the Wish Pass and heal, Wish Toss and Protect. It makes it more of a Toss stall set. Scald, which is a very spammable and a good move still because it does cripple a lot of mons in the OU meta. This is honestly hands down one of the most greatest thing. The reason why I started using this because I heard a lot like PokeMD, Blunder, a lot of those big YouTubers. I thought Alola was garbage until I started using RU. Then I hear that it was good in OU. I wanted to try it out for myself and I love it. It's fantastic. With Togekiss and Among Us added, you can make a very good regenerated core, and regenerated core is really solid in OU. It's really good. It's very destructive. You can literally not die. Like, even if you do poison burning this, it will be the least because I can get most of my HP more than my burns. Toxic probably be the biggest weakness for this Alola because then I'll have to constantly switch and reset the poison, and then I'll have to try to get 30% every time because if I get pressured too much, I lose my Alola. But that doesn't really happen a lot in OU. It's a really solid team. Next up is Default Lottie, which is not really my favorite set. It's a calm special defensive set. It actually covers Ferrothorn's weaknesses, but there is a couple of problems that you need to know in OU that you need to understand. Is that there's a lot of Pursuit Trappers like Pursuit T-Tar, Pursuit Bisharp, and Pursuit Reviles, meaning that Dark types literally counter me. At the same time, I had to worry about Fairy types such as Mega Gardevoir and Clefable. So basically, it's basically whatever I run, I'm always going to have a big problem, but I'm worried more about Dark types more than Fairy types, because most of the time, Fairy types are going to be Clefable and Mega Gardevoir, and most of the time I have checks for them, and I'm well prepared for them. I would say the only Fairy type that really will worry me is the Mega Gardevoir, because Mega Gardevoir is more of an offensive variant and has decent bulk, so that's probably the one mon I gotta be careful of. Toxic allows me to poison anything, so if I'm gonna lack my Lottie die to like a Pursuit Trapper, at least I can get a poison off and then try to heal and try to get some little toxic damage on them so they can die quicker. Because there's no point in switching because I'll get Oko once I switch. This means that I am purely a special defensive wall. I feel people may say the Bow Nature set is better, which I would agree, but this is a set that works for me and fits my playstyle. With this set, I can take on any spectral hitter. I'm allowed to check Rotoms. I can Rotom HP I just won't do enough on me to the point that it won't threaten me. I can get a free Toxic. I'm thinking about replacing it. I'm thinking about getting Heal Bell in it, making it more of a supportive variant. Because there's no point of having Dragon Pulse, because the main problem I'm seeing to having is that I don't have a lot of offensive isn't really the greatest thing. It does a job offensively, but it's not like Latias isn't really the best mon for offense. It's more defensive than offense. So that's pretty much my opinion. You can disagree if you want, but this is the set I run. Next up is the Hawlucha, and this is probably one of the hardest set that I really try to use. The Hawlucha has always been one of those mons that I really want to play around with and have fun with, but it's so hard to get him in because I really want to set up a Sword Dance, go for the Sky Attack, and go for the Perfect Sweep. Like those last two videos you saw, where how I swept basically a T-Char slash Charizard Y-Core. Basically, what I did was I correctly did the correct read because I may have a feeling he may lead off the T-Char or he may have Fire Blasted. So I decided to go right for the Sword Dance. He switches out into his Magikarp, Clefable, and got Body. Unaware Clefable would easy counter this thing, but he was running Magikarp because Magikarp is more better and can resist Sandstorm and Poison. But this will OHKO everything if you get the perfect Sword Dances. If you get the Sword Dance up its typing alone is a great offensive because flying can cover and fighting can cover steel type weaknesses. But the problem is most of the time that this means that I don't have any recovery and I have to be very careful. I don't really tend to like it, but high jump kick is the best possible move. I used to try flying press, but flying press is not really a good move because it's a very low base move. It doesn't OCO everything, which makes everything a very situational, which I don't want. I don't like situational stuff. But if I can't set up the sword dance because of faster sweepers, I would just go for sky check and try to do as much damage as possible. Get rid of the sweepers and sweep. As you can saw in that last other replay, which I should be showing the replays, but I'm not. You guys can check it out in the Showdown live. Is that basically the opponent switches out. I knew that I can kill the Stormy right then and there, get enough speed, and I can OCO the Crowdon and pretty much seal me the game, getting rid of all his big sweepers. Like Bandit Crowdon is pretty scary, but it doesn't OCO the solution, which is awesome. It has to force the Aqua Gen. So with after the sky attack with the hood, I easily can use spam acrobatic. If I'm sword dance, this will make acrobatics literally kill everything. This set is honestly a good option. People like to run the subset, but the subset is very predictable, and you can easily bait that set to touch your Rocky Helmet and literally kill. So that's pretty much it. That's my opinion. Next up is the Specs Keldeo. Easily one of the best Keldeo sets in the meta. This is the hands down one of the best sets in the meta. Secret Sword, Scald, Hydro Pump. Scald because you can literally just spam Scald. If there's no water absorb or any water resist, spam Scald. It literally does a good amount of damage. Hydro Pump should only be used if you just want to make sure that it dies. You want to kill something. Which shouldn't be used a lot because it has a base 110 and a base 80 accuracy, so it's very inaccurate. It doesn't really hit a lot, but you have to respect Keldeo's base 108 speed because it outspeeds Chomps. It's not the fastest, won't outspeed Amazing Sweepers, but it doesn't outspeed Gengar, which sucks, but it's still a good option. It hits pretty hard, not a lot of safe switch run. Most of the time I will use like oh my god, I gotta reply to the enemy. Oh, he's gonna try to go after me? Alright. Shout out to my boy Anime Son. I just saw that message on YouTube. A lot of shout outs today. But anyways, this is probably the honestly the best set. Secret Sword literally 2-hit KO everything. Nothing is coming in on Keldeo. I could come in, even Mega Charizard Y, if I get Stealth Rocks on, I can literally finish it off and literally destroy the team. T-Tar has the field. Keldeo is the easiest way, in my opinion, to deal with Mega Tyranitar. No, not Mega Tyranitar, just Bandit Tyranitar with Mega Charizard Y cores, because if you get Stealth Rocks up on them and get charged at 50%, Tyranitar does not want to come in on Keldeo's Skull at all. It will take a huge chunk of damage. It will live, but it can easily to a KO it. Nothing really takes on Keldeo effectively. Charizard Y can be easy counter unless if it's at 50%, you have no fear over Charizard Y. Charizard Y doesn't outspeed Keldeo because it's base 100. Specs just make sure it hits the most hardest damage possible. Icy Wind is specifically used on very annoying variants of Blind type and lowering speed, but it doesn't really use a lot because mostly I use his Stab. Water and Fighting Stab is very solid in this meta because it's good offensive. It breaks through a lot if you use it correctly. Chansey has a hard time doing this thing because it has to avoid the Secret Sword. If it takes too much damage and poison, then it can easily get to a KO by it. It can take a hit, but it has to do one job. It has to cripple with it before it can switch out. Because if it does, it's just not. Keldeo is gonna break. Keldeo is another good way to break cores. So what very stall cores. It's just how you play with Keldeo. It's not how you just got Keldeo. It's how you use Keldeo effectively. Amoonguss does struggle if it gets burned with pressure with Stealth Rock, so you don't want to get rocks on side with a burn because Keldeo can just constantly spam Scald. Which you can saw I tried to get Scald, but if I would have burned 3 Amoonguss, I would have won. Sucks, but hacks happen. So this is honestly one of my favorite Keldeo set. Honestly, this is the best Keldeo set in my opinion. Scarf Keldeo is not that as good. It gets speed, but elastic kill power. It's just, and Life Orb Keldeo is not really effective because it doesn't hit as hard as Specs. And locking yourself in your move on this is worth it unless there is no Water Resort mod. That's the only way you will have true fun with it. Try Specs Keldeo, people. It's very fun. Have your own kind of idea set, but try try Keldeo. Keldeo is really cool. And finally, we have I'm starting to love this mon. I used to hate it, but now I'm starting to see why I love this mod. It's Tornadus, and we're running the Life Orb variant. I do play around with the Assault Vest variant, which I feel the Assault Vest variant is a lot better because it can take more hits. But this is actually one of my sets where this is a perfect example of how great Tornadus is. Tornadus beats every sweeper that is not Scarf in the meta. It has U-turn for momentum. It has knockoff to deal with those pesky psychic darts. Starmie doesn't appreciate this thing. I have Heat Wave specifically to deal with Steel types. I know I should run Focus Blast instead of Heat Wave, but this is on my actual game. I run Focus Blast instead of Heat Wave. I think I run Heat Wave just to deal with Mega Scizors because Mega Scizor is pretty strong, pretty tough to deal with. But I feel like Focus Blast may be a better option. I'll probably change that soon, but we'll still stick with this set. This is probably just another variant I could run. The whole point of Tornadus is to come in with Venge, go for momentum, making it very difficult to take down, especially when there's no rocks on your side of the field. Tornadus shines. Life Orb literally does a lot of damage. Hasty Nature is good. Assault Vest variant is good. Support, Taunt. Tornadus is a good offensive mon. It's very tough to take down most of the time. You definitely need to get rocked, and you definitely need to get a static hit on it because otherwise it's going to live long enough that it will cause very annoyances. You don't have the best possible play is treat him as I can take this hit and get most of it back, or revenge kill. This is pretty much my favorite. It's really good. I highly recommend you guys try it. The base investment is max speed, max special attack, and maybe a slight little bit in attack. I couldn't even say it for a little bit. But this is honestly a great set. This is honestly one of the many great sets. And there's multiple variants you can try. Experiment with Tornadus Teeth. All I'm going to say at the end of the video, this team isn't the greatest team. This is honestly still a team that I'm just going to use. And this is actually one of my main teams. But you can use these mons and you can take the set and experiment to what you want. The whole point of team build is to know how can you effectively use it. It's not about, oh, I just want to counter this. It's about how can you effectively use them against this. How can I beat this guy? Because even if you do have the mons and the power, you gotta know how to use it at the end of the day. It's not, the Pokemon is not going to win you battle, it's the player itself. Anyways, thank you guys. That's pretty much it. That's a pretty long team build. pretty 2 minutes. Hope anyone found this pretty useful. I'm gonna be starting doing this a lot more nowadays. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the series, make sure you guys leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more of my content. You will see a Showdown live with this as well. I'm going to be still using the teams on YouTube. And I'm actually going to be trying, after that, I'm going to be trying another Showdown live with something fun with Hippopotas in Scotland doing Sandrush for the first time. That's going to be pretty something fun I'm going to try out before the end of Sun and Moon. Also, try to get Pokemon Uranium. That is a very fun game. I'm going to try to play through the game, and I may do a playthrough of Nuzlocke. I may, but I'm probably not. I'll probably do a playthrough of it again because the game is pretty hard. It's a very long game. I'm enjoying the game. I'll probably play that. I'm playing Uranium a lot. I highly recommend you check it out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys another time. Peace.